Welcome students, chapter number 5 of Hornbill, the Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's role. Ailing means suffering. And is our planet suffering today? Obviously yes. The amount of pollution, overpopulation, there are various reasons behind this. The most important reason is the callousness of human beings. Callousness, indifference. We are indifferent towards our own planet. We are bothered only about ourselves. And we hardly care what is happening to the earth. This chapter, the Ailing Planet, tells us about how the earth is suffering and what role can the green movement play. Green movement where trees were planted and all those things were done which could help keep the earth green. This article written by the famous writer Nani Palkhiwala, and this article helps us to look inside and understand, are we responsible also for this suffering of the earth? And as we complete this article, we understand we need to do a lot in order to improve the declining health of the earth. Let's begin this article, and this article was published in the Indian Express 1994. And you understand that time 1994 and this year when we read this article in 2020, the situations have become all the more critical. So there are a few questions that come in our mind. Why is the earth ailing? And what is this green movement? So the article begins with telling us something about the green movement. When and where did it begin? And how was its importance? What was the realization? Everything. So the first question that comes in our mind, when and where did the green movement begin? And how do you know that it was important? Because this chapter is best done in the form of question-answer method. So let's read and get an answer to the first question, when and where. Let's see it. One cannot recall any movement in world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the green movement, which started nearly 25 years ago. This green movement started 25 years ago, and how is this importance shown? That there is no movement in history which has gripped, which has captured the imagination of the entire human race. That means it has affected each and every human being as this movement, and this movement is the green movement. Began when? Just see line number 4. In 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand. Since then, the movement has not looked back. So if you are asked when and where did the green movement begin? 1972, as the first Green Party was founded in New Zealand, and then the movement after that never looked back. The second question, how do you know that this movement is important? How, in what words has the author told us? The words are that first it gripped the imagination of the entire human race, and the second thing, once this movement started, it never looked back. The third thing, see the next stanza, next paragraph. We have shifted one hopes irrevocably from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological one. What does this mean? Because of this movement, what happened? Our whole view was changed. Changed from what? From mechanistic. Worried about machines? Worried about development? Worried about all material development. From mechanistic to holistic. Holistic means complete and ecological. That means human beings started to think that away from machines also, we have to take care of this earth, we have to take care of this environment also. So if you are asked this question, how was the importance of green movement shown? 3 points. First point, this movement affected the entire human race. Second, after it started, it never looked back. And third, it changed our view from what? From mechanistic to holistic and ecological. So 3 answers. Now the next thing, the realization after the green movement. Let us see it. It is a shift in human perception as revolutionary as that introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the earth and the other planets revolve around the sun. Before Copernicus, what happened? People believed earth is the center of the universe and sun and the other planets revolve around the earth. It was Copernicus who suddenly startled the world by saying sun is the center and the other planets including earth revolve around the sun. And this is where the world was startled, and this is how the green movement also startled the people, because their view was changed and they realized something. What? Just see. For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the earth itself is a living organism, an enormous being of which we are parts. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved. Which realization dawned upon human beings? We understood earth is also a living being. And if it is a living being, it can feel, it can breathe, and at the same time it has its metabolic needs. Metabolic needs, like we have our metabolism inside, no? And all digestive processes, everything are a part of metabolism. So if something happens to us, our metabolism also gets disturbed and we get sick. Similarly, what are we doing is affecting the metabolism of the earth, and as a result the planet is suffering. Hence the title, the Ailing Planet. So which realization has come upon human beings after the green movement? That the earth is a living being and it has its own metabolic needs, and we are affecting those metabolic needs. So 3 questions we have done. When and where did it begin? What is the importance? What is the realization? Then one more thing that is there is, the earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good stewards of the planet. Stewards, like when you board a plane and you go somewhere, there are air hostesses who serve you. And these air hostesses serve you only till then when you are there on the plane. After that they don't. The stewards are those people who serve you, but for that definite period of time. So what are we to the earth? We also are stewards to this earth. How? We only serve this earth. We believe earth belongs to us. We are masters, we are owners, but it is not so. We are merely caretakers, the best word which can describe caretakers, and responsible trustees of the legacy of the future generation. Legacy is something which is so important, which is passed on from one generation to the next generation to the next. Like there are some important heirlooms or some important jewelry in the family, transferred from one generation to the second generation to the third, like that. What are we to this earth? We are trustees. We have got this earth from our forefathers. We have to hand it over to the next generation. It's a legacy. We should never consider we are owners or we are masters. So what should we understand about earth? We are only, we can say, shareholders, we are partners, we are caretakers, we are stewards, but we are not masters of this earth. Then the next thing, the concept of sustainable development. You have read in class 10th a lot. What is sustainable development? Everybody knows this answer. Development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the needs of the future. Nobody says don't use resources now. Use them, but with wisdom. That use them up to that extent that something is left for the next generation. We are always remembered about a particular ad on TV where a child says that I'll plan to buy a cycle shop because he saw his father not switching off the engine at the traffic lights. And the child says that as you're using petrol now, nothing would be left for us. That time everybody would ride a bicycle only. But this is where that father was forced to think, see how am I using the resources now without leaving anything for my next generation. That is sustainable development. Use the resources but leave something for the next generation also. So let us see this definition here. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. In its report, it defined the idea as development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Then it is that is without stripping the natural world of resources future generations would need. That means we should use the present resources, but something should be left for the future generation also. Now we are coming to our next question, and it is a very good example. In a zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, you will find what? A mirror. Mirror where? Let us see. In the zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads, the world's most dangerous animal. There is a zoo. Outside a cage, there is a big notice, world's most dangerous animal. People out of curiosity peep inside and see. They expect an animal there. And what do they see there? They see a mirror there. And why is the mirror there? They see themselves and they understand we are the world's most dangerous animal. Now there could have been written human beings are. But then we say others. I am not causing harm to the environment. If a mirror is there, I will understand I am also a part to the crime. I don't go and cut a tree, but I don't plant one. And I don't go and cut a tree, but I waste paper. That means I become a part of the crime caused to the environment. So that mirror forces us to think, am I a part to the crime? Yes. So let us see here, inside the cage there is no animal but a mirror where you see yourself. Thanks to the efforts of a number of agencies in different countries, a new awareness has now dawned upon the most dangerous animal in the world. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. That's what I was saying. We are shareholders, partners, stewards, whatever word you use, but we are not masters. And we consider ourselves to be masters, system based from dominance. We don't dominate this earth, but we have started to dominate. Then the next thing, how are we shareholders? Let us see this. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares this earth. Estimates vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species. Biologists reckon that about 3 to 100 million other living species still languish unnamed in ignominious darkness. Languish, they are lying there hidden. Ignominious, shameful. That means there are many living species with which we share the earth. But there are still many who are which are unnamed, but they are lying there in darkness. Still we share this earth with them. So we share this earth with living species which have been named, but also living species which have been unnamed. We are shareholders. And how many? 1.4 million which have been identified. And there are many 3 to 100 which are unidentified. We share this earth with so many creatures, but we believe we are the masters, we are the owners. Okay, so we have the right to kill every animal, and that's why tigers, then rhinos, they have been now they are on counting. People can count them. The reason, we have killed them in huge numbers. Then one of the early international commission which dealt inter alia with the question of ecology and environment was the Brandt Commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its members, Mr. L.K. Jha. The first Brandt report raised the question, are we to leave our successors a scorched planet of advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes and ailing environment? They raised a question, will we leave this for our next generation? What? Scorched planet, scorched, burnt planet of advancing deserts. The deserts are advancing. Then impoverished landscapes. Then what have we done? We have destroyed everything. Trees have been cut. Is this a landscape to be seen? It's become so poor. And ailing environment. Is this what we are going to leave for our next generation? And this thought forced the people to think, yes, we are causing harm to the environment. Okay. Now all these questions that we have done till now are 2 mark questions. When and where did it begin? The importance of the green movement, the realization after the green movement, then what is sustainable development, why is a mirror kept in a zoo at Lusaka, how are we shareholders to this earth? We only share this earth. Now the next 5-mark question that is there is, what are the 4 principal biological systems and how are we causing harm? Just see here. Mr. Lesser R. Brown, in his thoughtful book, The Global Economic Prospect, points out that the Earth's principal biological systems are 4. Fisheries, forests, grasslands, croplands. Fisheries, forests, grasslands, croplands. And they form the foundation of the global economic system. In addition to supplying food, these 4 systems provide virtually all the raw materials for industry except minerals and petroleum-derived synthetics. In large areas of the world, human claims on these systems are reaching an unsustainable level, a point where their productivity is being impaired. When this happens, fisheries collapse, forests disappear, grasslands are converted into barren wastelands, and croplands deteriorate. What does this mean, students? Forests provide us food, minerals, everything, fodder, everything. Fisheries provide us protein. Forests provide us food, fodder, everything. Then grasslands provide the place for grazing of animals, and croplands provide us crop. Importance is protein, food, fodder, then here is a place for grazing, and here crops. What are we doing? We are destroying all 4 of them. How? Just see here. In a protein conscious and protein hungry world, overfishing is common every day. First point, what are we doing? We are overfishing. Then in poor countries, local forests are being decimated. Decimated means cut in huge number. So what are we doing to the forest? Decimating. In order to procure firewood for cooking. In some places, firewood has become so expensive that what goes under the pot now costs more than what goes inside it. That means fuel is costly than the food. Since the tropical forest is in the world of Dr. Myers a powerhouse of evolution, several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. So I'll repeat my question. Which are the Earth's 4 biological systems? Fisheries, forests, grasslands, croplands. Fisheries provide protein. Forests provide food, fodder for animals, place for animals to live in. Grasslands provide the place for grazing of animals, and croplands the place for growing crops. What are we doing? Overfishing here, decimating of the forest here, overgrazing, and last thing is clearing the croplands in order to make houses. What is the result? You can see here in one line. As a result, fisheries are collapsing. Forests are disappearing. Grasslands are converting into barren wastelands, and croplands have started to deteriorate. This is the whole question you need to prepare. It's a 5-mark question. Fisheries, forests, grasslands and croplands. So today's session I am going to end here, and then the next session we'll discuss about how we are destroying the forest, how is the growing population affecting the earth, and what should be done. Thank you.